Welcome to the Solon Vanguard channel. Today we are doing a Blue Wave Valeos deck profile. As always, this beautiful playmat is available at the link in the description, so if you're an Aqua fanboy like me, this is probably interesting for you. Getting right into it, we obviously start off with 4 Valeos. He's the new boss monster of the deck. His first skill allows you to call a blue wave card from your hand, give it some power and draw a card. The problem is that it costs Counterblast, which is kind of an iffy resource in this deck, but the second skill is what makes him so amazing. He allows you to Soul Blast 1 blue wave card and then put your opponent's Vanguard stuck at 11k. Overall, Blue Wave has always been the aggro early rush deck in Aqua. However, this skill actually allows you to play quite a bit differently. Instead of rushing so hard on grade 2, you can now play it slowly, because at first stride, they will be taking a lot of damage regardless. No triggers will be activated, and so you can really put in a lot of value on your 11k small pokes at that point, especially when you get first stride, because then they either need to throw away important 5k pieces or let the damage go through. This has actually really shifted my playstyle, because at first I was like, oh yeah, Valeos is a complete rush deck, but early game I seem to be attacking rear guards all the time right now, and then once you get to first stride, just push 4 damage in with ease. 3 Arsenal Fleet. Now I know a lot of people seem to be going for 2 Anger Boil as a backup ride. I absolutely hate that idea. The 2 decks run so differently. Arsenal Fleet just puts in so much work. I'm still not sure about my grade 2 choices, because most of the grade 2s are so damn trash considering their cost. This guy actually puts in all the work. He makes your Flood Hazard turns super smooth. And once he's on the field, every grade 2 is like meh. Kinda doing work, but not a lot. His secondary skill adds himself from your drop back to hand, but it costs a soul, which is a really rare resource in this deck, so you don't get to use it very often. 4 Foivos. Now, as I said, once you have Arsenal Fleet out, you don't really need Foivos anymore, so then he becomes just a poker. Regardless though, if you don't, he's still a pretty valuable attacker. And if you're going up against a deck that really can't stand the rush, this is still valuable. 3 of this girl. I really like her, because no matter if you have restanders, she enables your Flood Hazard turn. She also has Resist, which is very relevant in the current meta. And she also allows for very easy Lambros plays. So if you're forced into a situation where you don't have any Counterblast, her and Lambros can work really well together. 3 Tidal Assault. Generally, he's not as amazing as he used to be in this deck, so I knocked him down to 3, especially because Counterblast is such a valuable resource. Just like with the girl, it's actually just really handy on Lambros turns, and if you're in a tight spot Counterblast wise. Finally, 2 Gallias. I actually despise this guy. I've only ever used him for his blue wave name, so this could potentially become a Lucianos. This PG is absolutely amazing with Chloris. I will explain the combo when I get to him, but that's the main reason. Also, it's fun to ride him because you have more Blue Wave Soul Blast for Valeos skill. 4 Stride Fodder. And finally, here she is. She's the only reason the deck isn't total trash. Her first skill allows you to Soul Blast 1 on wave 4 or more when she's boosting, call something from top to bind, but you don't really use that because you don't have the soul. However, what makes her amazing is her second skill, which allows you to guard with cards from bind and they get plus 5k shield. As you know or don't know, this card puts himself from your drop to bind. So once you get some PGs in the drop, you always have free shield on your opponent's turn, because you use these to give something a back row attack. It doesn't really matter if you're going to use it. You bind them all, and then on your opponent's turn, you always get to guard with these with 5k free guard. We also have the new heal triggers, which also go to bind zone, and this allows you to abuse these triggers, because normally there would be 1 in drop, you G-guard, these 2 go to the bind zone, and that's that. You generally only get to use this once or maximum twice every game in Davos. These are just free 15k shields you probably get. Just G-guarding once gives you 30k shield. Together with all your PGs, it's absolute bullshit. Consider that once you get to the late game, you actually get so much hand from Flood Hazard with Brutal Trooper and the starter that this guard makes it totally overkill. So I'm actually not a fan of playing it aggressive in this deck, because once you get to a stage where Chloris gives you 50k free shield, you are going to win. So Chloris is just the only reason this deck is good. She gives you so much free resource, I often don't even have to guard from hand because of her. And then to round off grade 1, Valeos. I don't see myself using him very often. I really never get the chance, to be honest. Sometimes he can be really nice with Arsenal Fleet, but generally Chloris just puts in so much work that I had to push him to 2. For Brutal Trooper, just an amazing card considering we're always restanding right now. Gives you so much plussing. If you don't draw into him, your restand turns are pretty shit, but if you do, you're absolutely gonna win. 2 Supersonic Sailor. I wish I could run more because I said Counterblast costs a lot. However, we have to run more draws to get all our skills off and to get into that late game where we truly shine. 4 Blue Wave Draw Trigger to go into Soul. This helps us with Soul for Valeos, but also helps us with Soul for the G-Guard that allows us to unflip Counterblast. And then 2 Malika. You only use her Soul for Galphilia and Arsenal Fleet, but it's worth it from time to time. 4 of the new heal. I already explained what she did. Just amazing with Chloris, and the counter charge really helps. This starter, because he just makes you plus so hard on our restander turns, whereas Kosti is just trash. Then for the G-Zone, 4 Flood Hazard. As you know, our new Stride restands, gets more drive checks on GB3, just an amazing card. I actually used to be totally against going him first stride, but the more I played his deck and started actually playing less aggressively early, so I have some more resources together with the 6 draw triggers, actually makes that pretty viable. 2 of him. Since I'm playing the game slow, I actually really often have to have 3 restanders, so that's why he's still in here. 2 Lambros. As I said before, Counterblast can be a problem, so when things get tight, that Lambros can really kill your opponent off. 2 Alexandros. If you get to the late game and you don't really have the Counterblast to fully abuse your restanders or even the resources, this guy with, let's say, 6 G-Zone cards up completely destroys anyone. 1 Wailing. You never know when you can cheese. 1 Artium, primarily used when you really need Valeos on stride skill, but you don't have the resources to do real Flood Hazard plays. Apart from that, you could use him to fix your ride, but I generally don't like to do that. 1 Ice Barrier, free 36k from time to time. 1 of the Dismal Wannabe, that's actually better. And then 2 of the Unflipper. And that is pretty much the deck. I actually enjoy playing this so much. Well, it's Aqua Force, so I was bound to kinda like it, but I like it so much more than old Blue Wave. So I hope you found this video interesting. As you know, this playmat is available at the link in the description. Subscribe to the Solemn Vanguard channel for more. Click the bell button to stay up to date, and I will see you soon. Ciao!